Hey guys, Emma here. It is a absolutely incredible sunny day, and boy, am I looking forward to being able to just be out here. I don't care what I do, I just want to be outside for as many hours as possible, soaking up all this vitamin D. So today I want to work on revamping my front garden bed. I absolutely adore my whole back shade and partial sunshade gardens. They are kind of exactly what I envisioned them turning out to be in my mind. I feel like the front garden bed, however, which is the most visually seen by everyone who comes over to our house, actually has just kind of turned into this dumping ground, which really drives me crazy. And it just doesn't have the symmetry that I'm looking for. I want it to feel cottage garden, and a lot of these plants are new, so they're not really filling in yet. But a couple of them at least are 2 or 3 years old, so it should start to look a little bit more filled in. I need to get some big staple pieces like some evergreens and things like that to kind of fill this out and give it some winter interest as well. But I'm just really looking forward to expanding this. So I just started to lay out some of the rocks, and I want to show you what I'm thinking. Standing back in front of our front porch, you can see the rocks here. These were all along the bed, and I've actually stopped edging this for a long time, so that's why the grass that's kind of running all in front of the current bed placement is so long and overgrown, because I knew I was going to be cutting this all out and dealing with it anyway, versus these have much nicer clean edging. There's Raj. And Nuka's outside with us today as well. Nuka, what are you doing? So I have these 3 blueberry bushes, which is so funny to me because somehow, I don't know how this really happened, but the one that should be centered is over there. So I need to remove this one, plop it back there. The lupine need to be pushed back. I like the azalea where it's at and the honeysuckle where it's at, but the rest of this is just really small perennials. And so this entire section, this is probably, let's measure it out. 1, 2, so maybe 2.5, 3 feet of expansion. And I'm going to try and pull this center post, which is kind of the center point of our porch, all the way out to be the highest point of this arch. And then we're going to come back, we're going to kind of peek in towards the porch and then come back out, and we actually end up, you can't see it because of the grass, but we end up all the way at the edge of that garden bed over there. And then what I want to try and do is mess around with this entrance a little bit. I kind of want to make it feel like this little enclosed pathway in. So maybe we'll push that out and then kind of bump it in, or I don't know. I need to mess with that a little bit. But I know that I for sure like the idea of bumping this whole part back. That way I can put in some bigger shrubs and evergreens in the back for, consistent all year round interest. And then I can fill the front with lower and middle height perennials. So project number 1, now that we've figured out the majority of the layout, I'm going to start, I think, over on this end, and I'm going to just start to dig out where the new garden bed is going to lay and pull out all the sod. And I think I'm actually just going to flip it over so that it's just exposed dirt, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up mulching this bed. That whole bed needs to be mulched this year as well. So I'm just going to cut the sod out in chunks, flip it over, have it dirt side up, and then I can continue to plant and kind of fill this in. And then I'll create a really nice edge for the garden bed as well. This is going to look so much better, you guys. And I don't care that I have to move some of these plants around in June. I just don't care. It has been bothering me so much. It needs to be done. So we're just going to do it. nice out, isn't it, Nuka? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're hot. Why don't you go inside the house or on the porch, drink some water? Okay, I hope you guys can see behind me. It is officially done. It is the next day. At some point when I was finishing the last quarter of it or so, my battery died on my camera and I did not realize. And then when I went to go record this part, I realized that my mic was also dead. So it's just a 0 for 2 for me today with technology. So I'm sorry about that. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to crank up the volume when I edit this footage and hopefully it'll be good. But I am just so happy with how much better this front garden bed looks. There's some plants that definitely need to be moved, but I'm just feeling so hopeful about it, you guys. I want to talk to you about it right now. Okay, so I just made sure that the walkway was wide enough at the narrowest spot that I can still fit the wheelbarrow through, because I use that wheelbarrow in and out of the yard all day, every day. It is so important to me being able to get work done. So being able to access this area is important. So I made sure that I left a wide enough spot for the wheelbarrow. I ended up bumping in that section just a little bit, so we'll have to maybe plant some grass seed, but honestly I'm just going to kind of wait till it fills in, because if I plant grass seed it'll spread naturally into the garden bed, and I just spent all that time ripping all that sod out. So I've got a few extra rocks that I think I need to take out and move somewhere else, but this is what our natural ground is like underneath here. So this is all just gravel. So every time I plant something in this bed, I have to dig out a hole of gravel, fill it with dirt and soil and fertilizer, and then plop the plant in. So there's never any worry about drainage in this area because it drains very well. But I am going to leave the azalea as it is. I love the honeysuckle here, which is really growing and filling out this year, and I'm hoping I can get it to start to climb up and around and down this piece. Gonna kind of just leave that as it is. I've got some poppies there, which look a little worse for wear right now, but they'll be fine. The lupine, now that I've got all this space in front of the lupine, I like it so much more. When the lupine was at the very front of the garden bed, I just couldn't stand the fact that it was so tall and it didn't leave any room for anything lower in front of it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put in front of it yet, but I also want to change out these blueberries. Like I said, move this one back over here. However, then the lupine might hide it. Might need to move that a bit. I want to get some evergreens or some structure plants to kind of have some winter interest in this area and give it a little bit more weight. I love these hardy geraniums. Maybe we'll bump those up forward a little bit. I've got lots of astilbe here. I like it, but not in love with it. Maybe I'll move it out. Maybe I'll move it around. Not sure yet. And then as it comes into this area, this spot is actually, it doesn't look like there's much going on, but they're just all very young plants. So once these start to grow and fill out in the next 2 or 3 years, this is going to look really good. I have a plant that I'm going to tuck in this gap right here, so that's going to be taken care of. And then I can get a bunch of shorter perennials to fill in this entire area. And maybe this fall I'll plant some more bulbs in that area as well. I'm thinking I'll fill this spot kind of full of daffodils. So not that much work to actually plant and fill up the bed, but dang, does it look so much better. It just matches like with our porch. It feels like a more natural flow. It gives you bigger spots in specific areas to plant more like specific structure evergreen plants, and I'm just really in love with it. This was definitely needing to be done. I really was pushing it as far as not keeping the edging cut, but it was all worth it because I removed all the sod anyway. So this is what it looks like. Very happy with it. That is it for this video. You will actually see what I did with the sod in either next week's video or the video before this. I honestly can't remember which order I'm going to post them in. But I'm going to take all the sod and use it in a project in the chicken run. So stay tuned if you want to check out what I did with it in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.